Kennedy. A great day for baseball in this series finale against the St. Louis Cardinals here at the ballpark in West Sacramento. And this Cardinals lineup is brought to you by your Bay Area Chevrolet dealers, Stefan.
Yeah, a little lineup manipulation against the lefty on the mound for the A's. J.J. Weatherholt leading off. Jose Fermin and Joel Pozo enter in the lower part of the order. It's going to be an interesting night for the Cardinals should they not complete the series win.
And the man on the mound this afternoon, left-hander, give it to lefty. It's Lopey, Jacob Lopez, making his 8th start of the season. He has never faced this St. Louis Cardinals club, so it'll be interesting to see how he attacks them and what their game plan is against the left-hander. We've seen this Cardinal team come out very aggressive, I think, in the first 2 ball games, and they have been in good position to put bat to ball. And I think what we saw with this Cardinals team yesterday, fellas, when you look back at their performance, able to compile 13 hits, just really struggled in terms of being able to get that big hit with guys in scoring position, just 1 for 9.
Fouled away by Weatherholt. That'll give us time to take a glance at the A's defense this afternoon. In the outfield, it's Soderstrom, Bolte, and Cortez. Geloff and Kurtz on the corners. Hernandez and McNeil up the middle. Shea Langeliers behind the plate for Jacob Lopez. A quick turnaround today. 6:40 start last night. Now 12:05 today. And the A's coming off of a 6-2 victory over the Cardinals, where both teams had 13 hits. It was a slugfest, but the A's were able to swing just a bit harder than the battling Redbirds of St. Louis. And the 1-2 outside. Umpiring crew today: Felix Neon calling balls and strikes. Bill Miller, the crew chief, at first. Chad Fairchild at second. And the other Chad Whitson, is at third to complete the quartet. Infield is playing Weatherholt's Topol, who has 4 hits on this series. The 2-2 pitch. Half-hearted swing. He did go around, and Lopez strikes out the first man he faces. 1 is away.
Well, we've gotten to look at the umpiring crew, a couple of Chads among them. The man behind the plate this afternoon, Felix Neon, second MLB umpire from the DR, La República Dominicana, made his major league debut earlier this year. And today's his second career game behind the dish. First game, well, 3 challenges, overturned on all 3 of them. Something to pay attention to when it comes to Neon this afternoon.
First pitch taken down low. 1 ball and no strikes. Ivan Herrera is up 3 for 9 on the series, a .361 hitter in the first inning. He has been tough to get out in these spots, Steph.
Well, just in general, he's the 3rd best OBP in the National League.
Fly out to Soderstrom, 2 away. So 2 quick outs for Jacob Lopez. And Jordan Walker will come up with 2 away. Walker 1 for 8 on this series, .290 overall on the year. And Lopez fires home the first pitch. It is a fastball in for a strike. If Jacob Lopez can command the fastball well, it could be a great day at the office for him, DB.
Well, we know that the fastball is important for Jacob Lopez simply because it's going to open up the rest of his arsenal. A lot of the offerings for the left-hander coming out of the same window. Now, not everybody does a great job of tunneling their pitches. At times, hitters can pick up the variance in release point based on the pitch. But Jacob Lopez is a very funky at bat. I mean, there's a lot coming at you down the mountain. And for left-handers, it feels like it's coming at you really kind of from right center. But it's all about creating angles.
No balls and 2 strikes to Walker. And the 0-2 pitch is spun inside, 1-2. Both teams have a win in this series. Cardinals won 6-4 in game 1. Had 10 hits in that game, then lost 6-2 in a 13-hit affair. JT Ginn was excellent again in his 2nd straight quality start. Fouled away, 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Oliver Marmol has done a good job with this St. Louis team. A lot of narratives around the club, and they have outperformed those expectations.
Well, you see the number, 349 wins. This could be his 350th if he pulls it off today. 2 wins away from moving into 10th all-time in St. Louis Cardinals history for managerial wins.
2 balls and 2 strikes.
If he manages that, ties Joe Torre and Miller Huggins.
Oh, Huggy Bear.
2-2 pitch. On a hop to the shortstop, Hernandez, who vacuums it up, throws to first, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Jacob Lopez. We will see the A's bats up bottom of the first inning. Time for the A's lineup, brought to you by your Bay Area Chevrolet dealers. It's Kurtz and Langeliers, then Soderstrom and Rooker, Cortez, Bolte, Geloff, McNeil, and Hernandez to follow against this guy, DB.
Right-hander, Mr. McGreevy. Michael McGreevy on the bump, 9th start of the season. You see the numbers from McGreevy. He has been outstanding. He's got a deep toolbox, and something that I like to see is the way that he moves the baseball around. This dude is dirty. Let's see what the Athletics have for old Dirty Mike and the boys this afternoon. Remember, this is an A's lineup who themselves collected 13 hits in yesterday's affair.
First pitch is outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Did you just drop a Dirty Mike and the boys reference?
That's right, Dirty Mike and the boys. Learn about it. And look, when you got a 7-pitch arsenal like McGreevy, and you are unafraid to attack the strike zone.
1-0, sends a charge to center field. Scott looks up and watches it fly out of the ballpark. After a grand slam last night, a leadoff solo home run today, and the A's immediately on the board, 1-0.
Well, that's exactly what Nick Kurtz and the Athletics have for Dirty Mike and the boys. A leadoff bomb.
Now he has to readjust and face Shea Langeliers with 1 in and nobody out. Shea, a .385 hitter during the day, .331 overall with 12 home runs and 25 batted in. And he will swing and line this into right, a base hit. So back-to-back knocks to start off the first inning. And the A's cooking here early against McGreevy and this St. Louis defense, Stefan.
Yeah, they're going to have to work. McGreevy, a contact-heavy pitcher. Church, Scott, and Walker patrol the outfield. Dolan Gorman at third. Jose Fermin making his first start at first. Mason Wynn and J.J. Weatherhold up the middle. And Ivan Herrera is the backstop for Michael McGreevy.
So 2 hits and Soderstrom's up. Tyler had the night off last night against the lefty Matthew Liberatore, who was rolling in his first 4 innings of work, and then the 5th inning happened and Kurtz hit a grand slam to give the A's the lead that they would never give up from that point on. McGreevy throws over to first. Back in safely is Langeliers. Soderstrom 3 for 27 over his last 7 games, 0 for 4 overall in the series. The first 2 hitters have seen McGreevy well. From the stretch, the 0-1 pitch. Hit to short on a hop. Wynn runs to second, steps on the bag, throws to first. A 6-3 double play, and 2 are down.
Well, and that's a byproduct of hitting the ball hard. Wynn able to take care of business. Speaking, hitting the ball hard and taking care of business, you can see the bolt off the bat of Soderstrom. How about the homer off the bat of Nick Kurtz?
Here's Rooker now with 2 away, and a breaking ball greets him. A swing and a miss, 0-1. Michael McGreevy has been excellent in the starting role for St. Louis. 3-2, 2.18 ERA, as Dallas touched on, but this is a young staff coming together. And now Rooker lines one to right field. That's going to go all the way to the wall. Walker plays it off the wall, a strong arm. He will not get it there in time, and now Rooker doubles with 2 away. 3 hits in the first 4 batters to come up for the A's.
Take you back to that long ball, Nick Kurtz. This is when you know the big fella's going well. You start to see him drive balls out of the big part of the yard, center, left center, the other way. And really become a hallmark of that power stroke for the lefty.
Here's Carlos Cortez on a 3-game hitting streak. First pitch, he takes it high. 1 ball and no strikes.
Really impressed with the A's, their ability to game plan Michael McGreevy. His last 2 starts coming into today, 9 total hits allowed. The A's are a third of the way there. We're not even through the first inning.
And to take it one step further, Stephen, his last 3 starts have all been quality starts. So the A's causing some trouble early after a big 5th inning against Matthew Liberatore last night. They strike first in the first. Cortez takes a changeup for a called strike. That's one of the 7 dishes that McGreevy can offer Dallas.
And that's, I think, going to be something you watch for moving forward, is not just the fact that it's any pitch, but it's any pitch, any count.
1 ball and 1 strike is inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Another thing that's happened for the A's that had not happened in the first 2 games of this series is the A's strike first against St. Louis.
Well, we've talked a lot about the Athletics offense to start the season struggling in the early portion of the ball game. That narrative has been put to bed.
So 1 a swing and a miss on a slider, 2-2. And Kurt's starting to heat up now. 7 home runs. Was a .345 hitter during the day entering play. That's gone up a bit. Seeing it well when the sun's out. 2-2. Swing and a miss. The slider gets Cortez, but Nick Kurtz hits a leadoff home run to start off this game. Bang! Scott could do nothing about it. 1-0 A's through 1 inning of play. On the board, I should say, 1 run, singular noun, as Mason Wynn is up and swinging and missing. So Mason Wynn, 257 with the homers, 16 RBIs, has fared very well against left-handed pitching, 364 against the Southpaws. No surprise why he is rooted in the middle of the order as the cleanup hitter today, Steph.
Yeah, especially against the lefties. He wants pitches that work in. He struggles to get to that pitch away. So his goal is going to be to turn on something here from Jacob Lopez.
1-1 pitch. And Lopez does go away. Good mix for Jacob Lopez. A lot of the times against righties, when he's able to command that fastball up in the way, a lot of right-handed hitters are unable to resist that, Dallas.
Well, again, it's about creating angles, and I think out of the hand they feel like that ball is going to continue to work its way in, maybe across the plate.
2-1. There's a fastball popped up in the sunlight. It is Kurtz to make the catch. 1 down.
Time now for StatCast, powered by Google Cloud. We're going to take a peek at that slider. Take a look at the whiffs. We're talking swing and miss pitch from the left-hander. 21 swing and misses. That's the most whiffs he's gotten on any one of his offerings. So you can see why being able to pound the fastball early is important. Because if you can throw that slider right off that heater, you're going to get a lot of hitters making an early commitment to cover the fastball. And then that slider just kind of darts down and into the righties, sweeps across versus the left-handers.
Seeing innings 1 through 4, 8 earned in 29 innings. Now Gorman, little cue shot up the third base side. Geloff on the run, gloves, guns to first, and a good play by the third baseman Geloff. More and more confidence building at the position he played at the University of Virginia and was drafted intentionally to play.
Well, you'd be hard-pressed to believe that Zach Geloff hasn't spent his entire big league career and even through the minor leagues at third base the way we have watched him perform recently. But I will continue to sing the praise of the hard work from Geloff that is put in each and every day to make himself not only just a viable defensive option over here, but what looks to be a guy who's trying to anchor himself in this spot.
Here's Jose Fermin getting the start at first base today. This is a guy Stefano went 2 for 4 2 games ago, but making his first start at first base this year for the Cardinals.
Yeah, it'll be the 6th position he's played defensively in 2026, sort of that super utility option for the Cardinals, and he's been a great off the bench option for St. Louis, now getting the start against the lefty.
Lopez works inside, 2 balls and 1 strike. The A's had a do-it-all type of player like that last year, kind of resemblant of a Max Schumann type, Dallas.
The CEO, as Shooty Babbitt referred to Max Schumann. And the idea is you want guys who are going to move around to be in the right position, making the right move, the right decision with the baseball. Looks like Shea and Lope are going to chat about this meeting on the mound, brought to you by the injury attorneys of Ashton and Price. Look, I think it's important, especially you got 2 outs, 2-1 count. You don't want to give up this at bat, extend the inning here with a walk or a knock on a pitch that you're not committed to.
The Cardinals have dipped into the well in AAA early this season. A few guys going up and down. Sajaci down to AAA, back up to the major leagues. This guy and Fermin, AAA and major league time in 2026. Steph, they've bounced all around.
Well, that's sort of the new identity of the Cardinals. In this young rebuild era, you're going to have to use players from AAA Memphis, and there certainly will be more coming. This probably isn't the same lineup and roster that it's going to be later in the season.
3-2 struck foul.
But Chaim Bloom and his staff have done a tremendous job of giving this team a direction.
Speaking of direction, Dallas, heads up above you.
Yeah, look out. Watch this. Oh, my. Good thing he got some kind of leather on it. That's a ball that might have taken him right out of his boots.
So 3 balls and 2 strikes from Jacob Lopez. Payoff pitch. Fermin leans out of the way, trying to sell ball 4. He gets the initial result, but it's going to be an ABS challenge.
Well, you can see by the way that Shea caught the ball. Yeah, he felt like it was a strike.
Successful ABS challenge powered by T-Mobile. The A's hold on to their 1-0 lead. Back to their bats when we come back.
The Sun, you are staring through the lens of Wirecam. Brought to you by the good folks over at Defy.
Look who's up, DB. Steph. Henry Bolte made his major league debut last night. Looked excellent. The 1-0 score now here today. He's up leading off here in the second.
Yeah, that nice clean 1,000 batting average looks even more beautiful. Dallas, that's just a great first night in the big leagues.
It is. It's a fantastic first night. Great way to get your career started. Those are nice numbers to look at.
Bolte, fly ball, left center field. On the move is Scott, and he will haul it in for the first out.
You know, just staring at that 1,000 batting average kind of reminded me. I had a picture that was given to me my rookie year, and it was a shot of the pitch count, the ticker at the Coliseum, and the pitch count was 47, which in and of itself might not mean much. The issue was you could also see what inning we were in, and it was the 2nd inning, and that infuriated me. And so what I did is I kept that picture and I taped that picture inside my locker as a reminder that this is a place that you just never want to be. You hate to be at 47 pitches. You'd hate for that to be anywhere near the 1st or 2nd inning. And it was just a reminder, you're going to have to attack the strike zone. You are going to have to compete at this level. You cannot continue to nitpick and dance your way around the strike zone, because if you do, your manager's going to hate you. The other team's going to love you. And your own team's going to hate you. The bullpen guys are going to want to have you out of here as quickly as possible, because you're not giving anybody a chance to win baseball games. And it was just that reminder each and every day that I showed up to the ballpark to be the competitor that I knew I was inside. But sometimes you just need those friendly reminders, and the numbers, well, they can be that little nudge that you need.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Geloff. It's in the dirt, 2-2.
Well, how about this? A little rattle going on. What is going on? A moth. Ah! What? You kidding me? It's all in your head, kid. No, literally.
2-2. Grounded foul.
They were out in force last night. I felt like I was fighting off a flock of pterodactyls down here.
You ever seen Silence of the Lambs, DB?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
2-2. Fouled away. Geloff had a big swing last night, a big insurance run late in the game.
Geloff with a backside shot out to right center. And I tell you that those homers, those are the ones that feel really good off the barrel. Hard drives the other way. Anytime you can use the opposite field, you feel pretty good about the approach at the plate in that moment. Anytime you're able to apply power to that approach, that's one of the best feelings as a hitter. It makes you almost feel like a complete hitter.
2-2. Another foul ball. So Herrera might have caught a piece.
Right off that leg down, that thigh.
Another 2-2 turned on foul.
Good little battle here. Geloff helping chip away at that pitch count from McGreevy. 10th pitch of the at-bat coming up.
Good fight for Geloff, the 2-2 home. Ground ball up the middle, a single for Geloff on the 10th pitch of his at-bat. Wow.
And the fact that you saw 10 pitches and on the 10th pitch you're able to send a bullet right back up through the box like this. When we can talk about the feeling of being able to drive a ball the other way. But when you work a 10 pitch at bat, it's required discipline and the skill set of being able to fight and spoil pitches that are close, so you finally get a pitch that you can handle and put a good swing on.
Well, speaking of good swings, another big-time contact player, Jeff McNeil, is up against McGreevy here with the A's up 1-0 stuff. Throw over first. Geloff back in safely for Michael McGreevy. We were talking about this young rotation of the Cardinals. This is a snapshot of their future. Now their playoff hopes have been expedited by maybe a year or two.
Yeah, I think so. A couple more pieces that need to be added, certainly. And I know that Chaim Bloom's plan is to stick to the plan, even with some early success. But Michael McGreevy and his ability to win against some tough opponents in the National League in particular, the Padres, the Dodgers, his last 2 times out, certainly encouraging for the future. And I want to go back to what you guys were talking about with Zach Geloff. It was a double win for him, not only to get deep in the count to get a hit, but he also saw 5 of the 7 pitches from McGreevy.
Slow roller to second. Weatherholt will have 1 play to first. Geloff advances 90 feet, but McNeil is out.
Well, we saw the numbers at the beginning of the ball game for Michael McGreevy, and you can understand why they call him Dirty Mike. The ERA, we're talking top 10. The fact that opponents are hitting under 200. I always avert my eyes, or take my eyes, excuse me, to the whip, because I'm really curious as to what sort of traffic guys are dealing with, and whether that's through hits, through walks. Obviously that statistic gives us the perspective, the combination of the two. But again, I think a lot of the success from McGreevy has come from not only the deep arsenal, but the deployment of the arsenal. I mean, just one pitch you see less than 10% of the time, and that's the slider.
Here's Darrell Hernandez, who had the 3rd 3-hit night of his career. He checks his swing. He did go around 0-2 according to Bill Miller on the breaking ball away.
I'll take a peek from the side here. Ooh. Maybe. Could have gone either way, in my opinion.
Greavy eyes the runner at second. And the 0-2 pitch, breaking ball low, 1 ball and 2 strikes. And we talked about it, DB. When Hernandez is given the opportunity to play with consistent time, he has rewarded his manager with some good offensive and defensive play.
And you saw it yesterday.
Greavy will step off. Hernandez 4 for 7 this series. Has scored 2 runs.
And not to mention his second 3-hit game of the season last night. Right guy at the right time.
1-2 line drive, but Wynn is right there to make the catch. So a hit for Geloff, but he's stranded on the base paths through 2. The A's up 1. A's fans win the ultimate Vegas getaway at the end of every A's homestand during the 2026 season. Brought to you by Circa Resort and Casino.
All right, guys, A's clinging to a 1-run lead. Top the 3rd inning, lower 3rd of the order for St. Louis. It's Joel Pozo taking a look at a first pitch strike from Jacob Lopez, who's done great work. Seen 6 hitters, retired them all with 2 strikeouts to his name this afternoon. Pozo getting just his 4th start of the season. He'll drive this into center. It'll drop in front of Bolte for a leadoff single. So there goes the perfect game, and Joel Pozo reaches to set up Nathan Church.
Well, just a pitch that's elevated gives Pozo a good chance to get to it. I think we've kind of touched on the success that we have seen Jacob Lopez have with fastballs elevated and really elevated arm side against right-handers. That pitch just kind of stayed middle.
So Joel Pozo, standing on first base, did have some time in the athletics organization, but a really tremendous story. Back during COVID in 2020, he was dealing with financial troubles, and he lived with his family inside of his car in a Walmart parking lot. From that to this is one of the stories that makes baseball such a great game.
Well, I think that's something that you always have to take into perspective, take into account, and that's why big league debuts are so important and so special, because you understand that it's not just the player who is experiencing the joy of being able to get to the mountaintop. I mean, it is a total team effort, and that team clearly extends far beyond the team that you wear the uniform with, but the team at home that helps motivate you, that's there for support, and the team that you know that you're working for.
And Dallas, I'm sure that story in some ways hits close to home with you during your college days. I know at some points you were dealing with your own financial issues, and you were kind of couch surfing, living in your car a bit.
Well, yeah, I used to sleep in my car in the parking lot of our junior college just to make sure that I wasn't going to be late. Not that I had a place to go, but I mean, you make the best out of a bad situation, and I think that's what baseball allows you to do. Is it gives you the chance to find the diamond, and that's home. And you make the fact that baseball provides that sanctity for you one of the best things in your life.
Church pops this up, and it'll spill into the seats, 2-2.
And it's just nice to see Pozo rewarded with all the hard work he's put in and the commitment, because it's not easy to stay focused, especially when you don't have much going for you.
Lopez to the plate, the 2-2. Church will put a defensive swing on that, foul it to the left side this time.
And for Nathan Church, .318 against left-handed pitching. He's been a total reverse split kind of player. No secret as to why he's starting and playing left field for the Cardinals here today in the series finale.
2-2. Popped up. McNeil is there. Glasses gleaming. He'll make the catch for the first out. So a good bounce back from Lopez to get Nathan Church. Now it's Victor Scott, the speed demon. Number 9 hitter in the order for St. Louis.
That's interesting, Dallas. I look across this lineup. You've got a few lefties in against the left. You got Weatherholt, you got Gorman, Church, Scott, 4 lefties and 9 hitters, despite the lefty on the mound.
Well, I think it's just a matter of comfort. You know, I think if left on left. You feel comfortable.
Scott shows bunt right back to the pitcher's mound. Backhanded by Lopez. He throws to first. It will move the runner into scoring position, but not the ideal result for Victor Scott. Good defense by the A's, and 2 are away.
And I was just going to say, I think with Victor Scott specifically, a guy who is unafraid to try to make something happen with the bat at the plate in terms of putting the ball on the ground like that. Sometimes kind of looking for a left-handed breaking ball gives you the ability as a left-handed hitter to just push that ball down the third baseline, try to push it past the pitcher. And we know that that's very much a part of the game of Scott.
So now Weatherholt, who's 4 for 9 in the series, has a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. Talking more about Victor Scott, he's tried to work on the drag bunt. He's drawn the third baseman in, the first baseman stays back. I wonder if that's what he was trying to do there, Dallas.
Well, just looking at the bat angle, I think it's something that you're trying to consider. You know, and that was something as a hitter in my college days, that was a big part of my game. Pushing the ball, bringing the ball with you down the line. You're trying to get it into that no man's land, that Bermuda Triangle between the pitcher, the first baseman, the second baseman. Because if you can force all 3 of those to have to make a decision, meaning the pitcher, the second baseman, and the first baseman, you can find 2 of the 3 going for the baseball, and oftentimes that leaves first base open.
Weatherholt hitting .310 with runners in scoring position. The pitch is outside, 3 balls and a strike.
Puts him in a hitter-friendly count. Now, Dallas, where do you go here at 3-1 against a guy like Weatherholt, who has 4 hits in this series, including a homer against the A's?
Well, this is where you still have to compete with the fastball, I think. 3-1. I mean, you got to be confident that you can spin that slider, which is something we know that Jacob Lopez has a ton of confidence in.
And it's just outside. Weatherholt passes the baton to Ivan Herrera. The Cardinals have 2 aboard and 2 out in the top of the 3rd.
It seemed he just missed his spot there, went with a cutter. Lopez has been around the strike zone. You face Herrera now, the powerful right-handed hitter.
Walks have been a familiar foe to Jacob Lopez. That was his 25th of the season. And Herrera will take strike number 1.
He did have 2 walks and 2 walks only in his last start, a winning effort in Baltimore, as Dallas touched on. With those 5 strikeouts, was around the zone a whole lot more in his last 2 starts, building off of that.
Herrera puts it on the ground to third. Geloff snares, throws to second in time, and Lopez wiggles out of trouble. Stays 1-0. Athletics leading 1-0 with Nick Kurtz coming up to the plate. First pitch, a wave and a miss. We talked about it during the series, Chris, in Dallas. These are 2 of the blue blood teams in baseball history. A bit surprising, a statistic that David Feldman, our statistician, found for us. The A's have never had a player hit a leadoff home run against the Cardinals. They've never had a player hit a grand slam against the Cardinals until Nick Kurtz did it yesterday and today.
It's very impressive, and he's heating up in a big way, Steph. Again, now a 3-1 count, and you know he's in swing mode, DB.
Well, he sure is. And you know what I've noticed over the last few days, and really I think it's been over the last week or so. See those hands? I did a breakdown a little while ago.
3-1 pitch
on Nick Kurtz and where the power is starting to come from. This powerful performance is brought to you by Xfinity. Get out of here. Get up and get gone. Nick Kurtz churning up the offense, says Max Muncy. And I think there's going to be a lot more of that to see here in the future. But I was breaking down the starting position of his hands and where they were in conjunction just to height. And I think we're starting to see those hands creep up even a little higher and getting back to a place where we saw a lot of the damage come from last year. And it just seems like he's in a firing position or in a similar firing position that much quicker, which is helping him get to the baseball and get to the baseball with some thump.
The 0-1. No swing from Langoliers.
I mean, just take this perspective here. First 17 ball games, average 186. Homer, just one of them. And you look over to the right, hitting over 300, 6 long balls. The patience, and for me, the on-base percentage looks the way it does because he's now getting to the baseball with more confidence. What does that mean? That means the hitter is more comfortable picking out pitches that he can get to and do damage on, and he's much more comfortable letting the pitches go that, number one, are balls, and number two, that he might not feel like he can do much damage on, even if they're strikes, which is valuable for a hitter, because if you don't think you can get to it with any sort of authority, then that's what we're talking about when we talk about hitters picking out pitches they can handle. Just because they're strikes might not mean it's a pitch that guys are comfortable getting to.
Langoliers hammers that into the netting foul, 2-2. What we're seeing play out in this inning is what makes this young athletic squad so much fun. You pitch around Kurtz, well, then you get Shea Langoliers, who's hitting .331.
And for all intent and purpose comes along with the same type of power threat that Nick Kurtz does.
I mean, this is a guy that, like I said, 385 during the day. That has gone up a bit after the first inning single. 438 with nobody out entering play. Has just hunted. Stats page is very loud for Langoliers.
2-2. Another deep count for McGreevy. These A's continuing to spoil pitch after pitch.
And that's the name of the game. Dallas and I talk about it all the time. Already at 41 pitches, you know, 28 strikes, 13 balls. If you can bounce McGreevy out of the game, then you face a St. Louis bullpen that has to return home after this series.
The 2-2. Wave and a miss. Langoliers couldn't get the breaking ball. There's the first out of the inning.
Well, it had been a good battle here. You just got to kind of tip your cap to McGreevy, able to make his pitch take Langoliers just outside of the strike zone.
It's not something we see a whole lot of from McGreevy. 6th lowest percentage of swing and miss in the National League. Now he'll fire home to Soderstrom for ball number 1.
Soderstrom hit that 6-3 double play, but it was well struck on a hop to Mason Wynn, but the Gold Glover able to gather it, step on second, throw to first. A lot of other shortstops might not make that play if they're not positioned right where Wynn was.
1-0 breaking ball hit high in the air to deep right. Jordan Walker gives chase to the wall, and he makes the catch.
Oh.
Doesn't hurt having a 6'6" right fielder. Tyler Soderstrom just missed making it a 3-0 ball game.
Yeah, that ball's a homer if Walker doesn't stand in the way. But Jordan Walker does a nice job of tracking it back all the way to the wall, finds the wall. You can see him kind of brace himself up against the wall and just reach over and bring it on back. Very unfortunate.
Well, the power surge doesn't stop with Soderstrom. Brett Rooker's up, and he drives this to deep center. Scott with his back to the infield, to the warning track, and the ballpark will hold it in again. Tough break for the A's. It stays 1-0. On to the 4th in West Sacramento. A's lead 1-0 in a beautiful afternoon in West Sacramento. Fans are out on the berm. St. Louis will have 3, 4, and 5 due up against Jacob Lopez, beginning with Jordan Walker, who's been one of the most interesting stories in baseball. He'll foul away the first pitch.
And it has been an interesting story for Jordan Walker. You know, you have a few down seasons, I think, especially with incredibly high expectations, and now at his age, what, 23, 24 year, he's playing like an all-star and the player that they expected him to play a number of years ago.
You know, isn't it funny how when a young player comes up highly touted with the expectations that Walker arrived with, and you don't readily meet those lofty expectations, it feels like you age a handful of years overnight, and you almost get forgotten about. You gotta make a trip back to the minors, try to figure yourself out, and then I think when you start to put it together, and especially to the tune that he has, you're reminded, oh wow, this is still a very young man that has a bright future ahead of him.
Well, Jordan Walker came up through the minor leagues as a third baseman. You see the numbers on the screen: 290, 11 home runs, 30 runs batted in. Last season, not nearly as productive through the first 41 games, but he came up through the minor leagues as a third baseman, and he'll smoke this to left. Soderstrom moves back, and he'll make the catch. Somebody else that came up through the minors as a third baseman, Zach Geloff.
And the expectations there from Zach Geloff. You know, similar parallels from Geloff and Jordan Walker. Walker had those few down years, now building himself back up, and Geloff doing the exact same thing.
So one away for the Redbirds offense, and Mason Wynn will take outside ball one.
Well, there was some question last night, I think, for Mason Wynn as he made that diving effort up the middle, ended up rolling over on that wrist, had to shake it out a bit. I was curious to see if Mason Wynn was going to be in the lineup today with such a quick turnaround. Good for him and the Cardinals. Looks like everything's all right. Hey there, little fella.
2-0 is just a touch outside. 3 balls and no strikes to Win. Mason has hits in each of his last 3 games versus the Athletics. Heading the count at 3-0. And a pitch clock violation against Jacob Lopez.
Well, folks, we're coming to Las Vegas Ballpark this summer. You can lock in standing room only tickets starting at just $15. That's for the Las Vegas series presented by Friedman Injury Law. You can catch us taking on the Brew Crew and the Rockies, plus enjoy exclusive nightly giveaways and can't miss moments all series long.
So Wynn, the speedy runner at first, is aboard with Nolan Gorman at the plate. 4 for 23 against the Southpaws this year. Rare start for him, lefty-lefty. Probably has something to do with the struggles of Thomas Sajaci, who's one of the platoon third base options.
We were talking with some of the Cardinals broadcasters before the series started, and they were highlighting this game in specific, saying the lineup could look a little wonky today for St. Louis, the final game of the road trip. And it does with those 4 lefties against Jacob Lopez.
I think in this case it's okay to call him Dad, Chris. Now it's 3-0.
Well, it wasn't just him. I mean, actually, he didn't really contribute as much. It's more Brad, Claves, Ricky Horton,
Danny Wexelman, of course.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
3 balls and a strike. It's a great crew over there, and one that I'm excited to get to do some work with this year.
Yep.
I just know he's sweating right now. Got coat and tie for the plane. Now it's 3-2 to Gorman.
Just an image nobody needed to see. Nobody needed to see that.
See the resemblance?
You don't have the hair gel like he does. You're just doing the what would you call his haircut, Dallas? What Steph's got going on?
Respectable.
Fantastic 3-2 pitch. Gorman pops it up in foul ground. Langoliers won't have a play. You know, this reminds me of a story. One of my first broadcasts with Dallas, I got the Eddie Munster hair gel in, and my hair's going all over the place. He just looks at me. There's no hi. There's no how you doing. The A's were playing well, and he goes, "Have you no shame? Just any shame at all in your hair?"
It's the two curls that look like fish hooks that are doing it for me.
It happens naturally. Dallas knows.
It's fantastic. It's like Clark Kent without the superpowers. There's a throw over to first. Wynn dives back in safely.
My superpower is what do you think my superpower is, DB?
Probably still waiting to see what that is. Don't know you've shown much promise.
Definitely not shooting trash, basketball trash into the trash can things. Yeah, can't do that well at all.
How about succinctly describing office horseplay?
I'm good with paint swatches, though.
Yeah, maybe finger painting.
3-2 runner holds, and Gorman will take outside. So back-to-back walks for St. Louis, and here comes Fermin. Best scoring chance of the afternoon for the Redbirds. This meeting on the mound is brought to you by the injury attorneys of Ashton and Price. Scott Emerson has to like what he's seen so far from Lopez. What do you think he's talking to him about here?
Well, just a reminder of trying to compete back in the strike zone. I think, you know, you go through that pitch timer violation and you can get a little frustrated from there. You don't want to advance the inning through the inability to throw strikes, and that's kind of what's happened here. Now, as you pointed out, back-to-back walks. This one to Gorman, and it's against a left-hander. You want to be able to go and attack the lefties. I talk a lot about from a lefty perspective. You see a lefty at the plate, you want to just basically consider those guys automatic outs. And so there's a different level of frustration that you deal with when you end up giving that left-hander the free pass. You know, speaking of lefties, we mentioned that Hogan Harris, kind of the solo southpaw down there. Well, Jose Suarez, welcome to the green and gold. Unfortunately, Junior Perez designated. When one door closes, another opens, and that opened the door for a second left-hander. Looks like we're going to have an ABS challenge here.
Strike. The batter is challenging.
Pitch originally called a strike, and it was.
The call is confirmed. St. Louis has one challenge remaining.
And that's now the 5th challenge that Felix Neon has had called for him, and that is the first one that has stuck. Previous 4 all overturned.
1-1 pitch. It's golfed foul. Right behind the Cardinals dugout. That's also the second time in this game that Fermin has not liked the result of an ABS challenge.
Right. Yep.
One was overturned on a challenge by Langeliers, and one was confirmed just a second ago. As this has popped up, left side, long run for Soderstrom. Wins catching that, and the catch is made. He caught it. What a play!
Unbelievable.
Darrell Hernandez, an acrobatic catch.
Well, you can see both guys kind of surveying the land here. You know that that tarp is going to come into play in some form or fashion. And once Darrell got comfortable with where he was at in space, you could see him reach out and then kind of brace for impact. That's a phenomenal play by the shortstop. Just a phenomenal play.
Something's going on with Lopez and Langeliers. Looked a little frustrated on the mound. Now Pozo comes up with 2 on and 2 out, and he hits one back toward us. We might have a chance, and it's just into the netting in front of the visiting TV booth.
I tell you what, Dallas, if you were here, you would have dove out of the booth. Feldy, it would have been Feldy or maybe Brad Thompson of the Cardinals to make the catch. It's about as close as we've gotten in our time here.
Yeah, just a tough angle up there.
2-1 to Pozo. Singled his first time up. He'll take on the inside corner, and second challenge of the inning. We'll see how it goes for the Cardinals. An ABS challenge.
Batter is challenging.
Oh, just in off.
The call is overturned. St. Louis has one challenge remaining.
So Pozo, a catcher by trade, has a sharp eye to even the count at 1-1.
And more importantly, the Cardinals keep that one challenge they have remaining in this game.
And Pozo will hit this to right field. It's sinking, and it is caught in right by Cortez. What a catch to rob the Cardinals in the fourth. Fantastic play by Cortez. He keeps it 1-0. We're going to the bottom of the fourth day in West Sacramento. Athletics leading 1-0. Something just as pretty, Carlos Cortez, to end the top of the fourth inning, made a sliding grab to rob Joel Pozo of potentially game-tying RBI hit. From defense to offense, see the numbers, 351 on the year. He'll bounce it up the middle. It's off the glove of McGreevy. Takes a weird hop. Mason wins throw to first. Is just in time.
Well, here's how that last half inning ended. Cortez will come into your screen here quickly. And what you notice is the quick first step from Cortez. Again, those balls that are at you, low sinking liners like that, very tough to judge. You're going to have to figure out quickly how you're going to get on plane with the baseball. He goes into a slide, kind of a basket catch. Well done.
Dallas, you had a great view of that catch in right field, but you also have a great view of Bobby Crosby, who I've been told oozes charisma. Is that true?
I don't know if that's how I would describe it.
Ground ball to first. Fermin will take it to the bag himself for out number 2.
I mean, he's definitely oozing something. I don't know if it's necessarily
You can't lie to
charisma.
yourself. Don't lie to yourself. It's the best seat in the house, the best view in the house.
Well, at times my view gets blocked thanks to all of Bobby Crosby. But he's a stoic individual, I can tell you that. But I think I've sung the praise of Bobby Crosby here in the first part of the season, and for good reason. Not only the work that he's put in with the infielders on the defensive side, but it's a guy who's truly invested in terms of preparation and what he's doing as a third base coach. I've talked a lot about how he ends up positioning himself during plays that are unfolding in the outfield. And I think, you know, as a base coach, whether it's at first base where Ryan Christensen is or at third base here where Bobby Crosby is, it can be a thankless job.
Two balls and a strike to Zach Geloff.
Remember, Stephen Geloff in the second inning worked a 10-pitch at bat. He's fouling off pitches from McGreevy, fighting, and finally wins the battle with a ground ball up the middle for a single, his second hit of the series.
It's the first inning of the game where the A's haven't had a base runner with one or less outs. This is skied out to left. Church couldn't find it, starts to recover, and will make the catch on an 8-pitch inning. Michael McGreevy, low stress. We're going to the fifth. SportsCalifornia.com.
Well, the score 1-0. The A's are up with 8, 9, and 1 coming up for a second and third time respectively. Lopez is able to fire in a slider that's fouled away. 0-1. Chris Carey, my brother and partner Stephen Carey, my other partner Dallas Braden, down on the field enjoying the sunshine and some, I don't know what birds these are flying above the ballpark, but there's a lot of them near the booth right now. Just a beautiful day. Church shoots it foul, and it's 0-2.
Oh, those are the Northern California hornbilled swallows.
Thank you.
Yep.
That's all I need to know. Small birds, a lot of flapping of the wings. 0-2 pitch, defensive swing on one hop, retreating. McNeil will throw to first. One is away.
So Dallas, you know about the birds, and you're a beekeeper.
That's right. Teach you guys a thing or two about the birds and the bees.
Well, our dad was gone for 6 months out of the year of every year of our life. We still needed a little bit of an education.
And I tell you, we're getting pretty excited about what honey season has in store. I was just home. I'm headed home again today after the ball game, and we've got an estimated about anywhere from 60 to 80 pounds of honey we're getting ready to pull. It's been a very bountiful spring so far.
Here's Victor Scott, driven to right field. Cortez will look up and watch it fly onto the berm. Tie game, 1-1.
It was the comfort and the confidence from Victor Scott maybe to start pushing the baseball around on the ground that we discussed. But here you see Victor Scott open up and unload on a hanging slider that stays close to the body. And when you see that pop out of the hand on the breaking ball, sometimes that is just not a good thing, and this is why hitters see it early, they get the foot down, and they're able to put a great swing on a pitch. But good job by Lopez to get right back into the strike zone. Here's a look from the side, and you see the toe of Scott hits the ground, and you can see the hands stall just a bit because he's waiting.
Bouncing ball up the middle. Hernandez moves to his left, throws to first, 2 are away.
Just the second home run of the year for Victor Scott. His first came into the Allegheny River at Pittsburgh, and that's the spot that you can't throw it to Victor. The inner third of the plate, he has fast enough hands to get to it. Not a whole lot of offensive production. Going into that at bat, he was 0 for his last 8. So you know St. Louis is happy about their number 9 hitter getting them on the board.
But no surprise, you know, he's hitting .290 against lefties entering play today. His first homer against a lefty this year, however, DB.
Well, look, I mean, good time for everything, I guess, if you're the Cardinals, and especially Victor Scott, who, if you're looking for some production, he'll take it really any way you can get it, and especially in the form of a long ball.
Ivan Herrera 0 for 2 today. He is 2-0 on the count in the top of the 5th, where the game is tied at 1-1 thanks to Victor Scott's second home run of this season. Now that's off the end of the bat, a little bit of spin. McNeil there throws to first, and that will retire the side. But Scott homers, and we're tied up at 1 apiece. Well, the score tied at 1-1, St. Louis and the Athletics. It's McNeil, Hernandez, and Kurtz. First pitch outside, 1 ball, no strikes. McNeil got the day off last night as Michael Stefanik made his A's debut in his 100th career Major League game, going 2 for 4 in the game, and did a very good job putting the ball the other way, Steph.
It was really impressive early in the game, especially the hit and run. Just seeing him able to shoot the ball the other way with such poise. And the approach that Dallas talked about watching him in the batting cages, how there was a very clear idea of what he wanted to do.
Now McNeil charges one to center. Scott on the move. Right in front of the warning track. He makes the catch, 1 away. And now let's hear a word from the Sacramento airport. One of the advantages the A's have, gentlemen, is this interchangeability and flexibility of the roster. Stefanik comes in, gets 2 hits. Bolte comes in, gets 2 hits. Hernandez gets consistent run at shortstop, gets 3 hits. We all know what Zach Geloff has been able to do, and that's just been such a tremendous advantage, I would think, for Mark Kotsay, DB.
Anytime you have roster flexibility, it bodes well for you. It helps.
As there's a ground ball to short. Whalen fires to first, 2 down.
It helps lineup construction, and I think it just helps give the manager opportunities to alleviate stress and pressure up and down the lineup, and I think, frankly, on the diamond. I mean, when you have guys that you can, I don't want to call them interchangeable, but when you have guys that you feel like you can plug in certain spots and you're still going to get the productivity that you expect, that's not a luxury that everybody has.
McGreevy has not had much of an answer for Kurtz so far in his start. Solo home run to lead off the first inning and then a walk. Kurtz is 1 for 1. Homers in back-to-back games. Starting to see those hands move up, as Dallas said. And what we were seeing on the road trip and now the early part of this series, DB, is just his ability to go the other way with power. He was pulling the ball a lot, and now the ball just continues to rise more and more to left center, and that's what he was doing all year long last year.
Again, that's why we talk about guys when they start to really feel like they're going well. A lot of guys will tell you, yeah, you know, I'm driving the ball the other way, which is always a good sign, because I think, you know, reverting back to pull side power is something guys do when they initially start to struggle. It's just a natural instinct. But that's why Nick Kurtz is so special, is because of his ability to use the entire field. But I think we'll continue to go back to that patience. You see Chris Crone there, guy who's worked very hard with this group in the cages. And I mean, really, it's a three-headed monster when you think about Chris Crone, and Darren Bush and Mike Aldretti. I mean, with the wealth of knowledge that those guys come along with, and their willingness to prepare and do anything for guys in the cage to get them ready.
3-2 payoff pitch. Kurtz takes. He is called out on strikes. He won't challenge. And McGreevy, a 1-2-3 inning. He has sat down 9 straight hitters.
Flashing the leather. Daryl Hernandez making a long stroll over to the third base side. Able to snag that just off the tarp. And Cortez snagging this one off the turf. A couple of great defensive efforts behind the left-hander Jacob Lopez. Ooh, Felix Neon just took one about as flush as it gets. Shea Langoliers very quickly turn around and check on him. The meticulously manicured man, Jeff Collins, out to make sure everything's all right. I mean, he wore that flush. Take a look. I mean, that's about as squared up as it gets, and you can see him just a slight step back. Take a listen. You can hear the impact. Oh, my.
That's coming off of the bat of a, what, 6'6", 250-plus pound outfielder.
Well, it don't feel good, I can tell you that. And that's why I think Jeff Collins just trying to double, triple check, make sure he's all right. And I'm trying to remember where, I think it may have been, was it early in the year in Toronto, where umpire took one off the mask. The mask ended up breaking, cut him in the cheek. Game stalled for a bit, not only to get him cleaned up, but to get the new gear.
No surprise that Walker is hunting. 370 hitter when nobody are out. One to one the score. The 0-1 pitch is a changeup outside, 1-1.
Yeah, they've really impressed me. The A's have, watching how they've attacked Jordan Walker, keeping him to 1 for 10 in this series. He'd been pretty much red hot going into this road trip.
This is a ballpark that we talked to Alec Burleson about how much he loved swinging during BP, just saying, I 3/4 swing the ball, and that's just his strength. Jordan Walker of the same type, you know. He wants to hit a home run here at this ballpark because he gets one over the middle. There's a lot of power behind that swing stuff.
A lot of work has gone into getting him right, laying off the pitches away from righties, and Brant Brown has really worked hard to get him to be more consistent hitter.
Here's Sterner in the bullpen. High chopper to third. Geloff lets it go foul. A smart play by the A's third baseman to watch the spin of the baseball and let it trickle out of play. And this is something that we saw with the Cardinals, Dallas. There was some promise in St. Louis last year from the 1st to 3rd of September where the Cardinals took 2 of 3 from the A's. You could see the makings of a young offense come together, and Brent Brown has just as much of a hand in it as the rest of the staff, like Ollie Marmol, as to why the Cardinals are in the position that they are in right now, 6 games above 500 in a very competitive National League Central.
And from a staff perspective, you're just trying to create buy-in, trying to create culture where the guys understand that you want them to succeed. I highlighted the work of Chris Crone, Mike Aldretti, and Darren Bush, and what a great job they do of that. And I think it has to come from everywhere, from all departments.
That's well struck to right center field. On the move is Bolte, and Walker has his home run. His 12th home run of the year, and the Cardinals have their first lead of the afternoon. They're up 2-1.
And this is a byproduct of allowing Jordan Walker to get those big, strong, long arms extended. Talk about guys being able to create leverage and generate easy power. Ball up out over the plate, and that's exactly what Jordan Walker does. Takes advantage of location and hammers it the other way.
Called strike to Mason Wynn.
That's what Walker looks like when he's going right. Likes to go to the opposite field, hit it to right center.
Little cue shot. Good play by Lopez until he throws it away into right field. Wynn's going to push for second. Throw to second. Now gets away from Hernandez. Wynn's pushing for third, and he's going to get there. Lopez got to the ball quickly, then everything else spiraled out of control, and the Cardinals have a runner at third with nobody out and a 1-run lead.
Well, off the bat, you feel like it's a pretty easy out to take care of. I think Lopez, understanding that Wynn can move down the line, may have had an extra minute or two to make the play. Got rid of it quickly, unfortunately errantly. Now Mason Wynn standing at third with nobody out, and an opportunity for the Cardinals to put another run of insurance on the board.
So score that an E1 and an E4.
So here's what I was talking about. You see him very quickly turn and fire, and I think there may have been an opportunity for him to take just another quick little gather step and get himself collected and headed in the right direction.
Dallas, as a lefty, when you're fielding that baseball, is it more difficult to make that throw to first because you have to spin to position yourself to the first baseman?
No, your entire life as a left-hander, you are taught to what we call follow your glove. So when you pick that baseball up, especially on the third base side, you know that you're going to be making that turn, that pivot. And that's why I talk about being able to give yourself a chance to get headed in the direction of your target, whether it's just a quick little gather step, or if you have more time, a shuffle. And so I think that's why you saw Lopez so frustrated. Because I think in real time you feel like, hey, I got to go. I got a speedy runner here. I want to make sure that I get the out. From start to finish, you'll see Lopez get over, and now what happens is, I think because he didn't give himself that little extra step, you're not headed directly in the position of your target, or direction, excuse me.
Here's a little bloop into right. Cortez will let it drop. Wynn breaks to the plate. He will score. And Gorman adds another run for St. Louis. His 23rd RBI on his first hit of the game. And out comes the manager, Mark Kotze, to get Lopez. So the A's going to go to the bullpen here in the 6th. And enters, and nobody out. Started with a Jordan Walker home run, then Mason Wynn hit a tapper back to the pitcher. Lopez had to spin and fire, a couple of errors, and then another run comes home. So far 5+, 4 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them earned. And here comes Sterner in his 21st appearance, and it is Fermin. here against the righty. Thought maybe Oliver Marmol would go to the bench with Burleson. That is not the case, Stefan.
Yeah, not too many opportunities in what was a stretch of 17 consecutive games to get Burley rest. They go with Jose Fermin here, considering they play again tomorrow night against the Kansas City Royals. Rest is going to be important, especially with a long flight tonight.
2 balls and no strikes to Jose Fermin. A's find themselves in the middle of game after game in their schedule. After this, the San Francisco Giants come to town tomorrow for 3 games. That's going to be a fun series. 2-0, high drive to left. Soderstrom on the move, and he leaps and he caught it. Moving back to first is Gorman. That ball just died at the end, and Soderstrom able to elevate like a small forward.
Well, you can see Fermin kind of pose it up. He thought he got enough of it. Oh, head down, trying to walk it down like Tiger Woods. Sody says, nay, not quite enough of the cheeks behind it on that one.
Now Pozo takes low and away. What a play by Tyler. And you know the A's bench is happy and the Cardinals not so much.
Yep. Nope. That one's not gonna quite make it. I had a teammate, the bringer of rain, Josh Donaldson, who hit a few home runs in his day, no doubt about that. We're talking MVP Josh Donaldson. But there were also times where JD would, well, think he got enough of one and it might not have left the building. A little bat drop, a jersey pop, F7, not so much.
Is there anything you would say to him after that happened?
Yeah, that's this is a family show. But yeah, we'd let him know.
Mason Barnett, who was recalled from AAA a few days ago, is warming up in the bullpen. 2-2. Pozo tomahawks it to left. That will get down and 2 hop the wall. Soderstrom to it quickly. Strong throw into second. It's going to hold Pozo at first. And Tyler would have had an outfield assist to back up his incredible leaping catch 1 batter ago should Pozo have tried to streak to second.
Well, and you watch Pozo here at the plate, you'll see a little flip from him after contact. And not very often you see a ball hit down the left field line, get to the wall, and a guy have to hold up at first base. But Sody on the money.
Talked to a lot of the guys with the Cardinals on how they felt about hitting here during batting practice. They said, man, the ball's really flying. I wonder if that factors in to the way they've been reacting on these solid bits of contact.
Now when the ball gets in the air here, anything can happen. Kurtz had a little bit of help from the wind on his grand slam. His home run in the first inning, however, that was all him. It can change in a moment's notice here. Here's Nathan Church. He'll swing and miss. Quickly 0-2. But not too much wind activity right now. Pretty much playing straight up for Church, who is 0 for 2 today. And 0-2 in the count with the runners on the corners. 0-2 pitch. Ground ball to second. Hernandez glove. Steps on the bag. Jump throw to first. And a 6-3 double play. Cardinals score 2 runs and take the lead. They're up 3-1. Go 30. Well, the score 3-1. The Cardinals lead. Heart of the order coming up for the A's. It is Langeliers, Soderstrom, and Rooker. Shea has a hit. He's 1 for 2. Slider outside. 2 balls and no strikes. So you mentioned, Stefan, the Cardinals are heading home to face the Kansas City Royals starting tomorrow night. 2-0 pitch, line drive into left, a base hit for Langeliers. He'll get aboard with a leadoff single. But what are the A's looking like these next few days into next week? Upcoming schedule brought to you by Service Champions. 3 games against the Giants here at home starting tomorrow night. Then next week, travel down south to face the Angels in Anaheim for 4. And then the Padres in San Diego for 3. Have some Giants fans already infiltrating the ballpark in West Sacramento. Don't know how we feel about that, DB.
Well, I can understand. A's playing a pretty good brand of baseball.
Yes, they are. Well, after that single for Shea Langeliers' 20th multi-hit game of the season, Soderstrom sends a charge to left center. Scott on the move, and he will make the catch at the warning track. 2 well-struck balls for Soderstrom end up just being flyouts in his last 2 at-bats. And that will bring up Brent Rooker and also have Stanek start to warm in the bullpen, Steph.
Stanek's been a lot better for St. Louis. They trust him in this situation. And Leiter, again, going to be the next guy that the A's look to pass the baton to, hopefully in a much closer game. The right part of your order, the tying run at the plate. I think Brent Rooker's hit a home run or 2 in his career.
Yeah, I'd say so. 5 home runs on the season, a double today. He's 1 for 2. Short lead for Langeliers, pitch to the plate, and Rooker underneath the breaking ball, shallow center. It's getting whipped around. It's Victor Scott coming in, calling everyone off at a 2-handed catch. He will make the catch for the second out.
Well, Dirty Mike and the boys doing just enough this afternoon. See the work there from McGreevy, inning by inning. Really, the only stress he's experienced was back in that 2nd inning. I mean, even after the leadoff homer for Kurtz was able to settle in, take care of business in the 1st. Just not a lot of stress for McGreevy.
Be an interesting decision for Ollie Marmol on what to do here. McGreevy's been pushing quality start after quality start out there for St. Louis. Now pitch 70. Wonder if you bring him back out for the 7th inning.
I wonder about that, Dallas. Is this more of a precautionary measure with the base runner aboard, or is that more of a full intention of bringing Stanek into this game despite the low pitch count?
Yeah, I'm not sure that you get Stanek up and moving around unless you have the intent to plug him into the ball game. And on the flip side of that, with the way that McGreevy's thrown the baseball this afternoon, it feels like you would have confidence in his ability to get through the lineup again.
That's fouled away by Cortez.
And that baseball's got a big old cut in it. Check it out. You see that? Right off the cup of the bat. That'll do it.
Cardinals defense knows this all too well. They had a game in Pittsburgh where Alec Burleson hit one that spun back into the infield in the 9th inning. So they're aware of the baseball spinning back into the field of play.
That's why Cortez is running it out. 1-1 is a called strike, and Carlos will deploy an ABS challenge here in the 6th.
Pitch was called strike. The batter is challenging.
Well, Cortez pretty good about these things. Yep.
The call is overturned. Oakland has to challenge remaining.
And you talk about it all the time, Dallas. It would have been 1-2. Instead, it's 2-1. Now Carlos has count leverage over McGreevy.
That's it, and that definitely can impact the pitch selection here for McGreevy.
Two and 1. Now 2-2. Cortez entering play. Last 15 games, 19 for 49. Had 94 at-bats overall last season. He's at 98 this year in a much more consistent role with the A's. 2-2 pitch. Fly to left, but Church is there to make the catch, and that will retire the side. McGreevy, 6 innings with 1 run against him.
Swim Caps. Spend your holiday weekend and midweek evenings catching some of the best baseball in the AL West. Get tickets right now at athletics.com/tickets.
Great view of the Sacramento River as the A's find themselves down by 2 runs and Cardinals looking to add on more. People are hungry at this ballpark. Hungry for runs, hungry for wins. Excited for what's going to be a very fun weekend at Sutter Health Park. First pitch to Victor Scott is a called strike, 0-1.
As things start to heat up, they're getting a little thirsty too. Mark Leiter Jr. in the game, hoping to continue the trend for Sterner, where Sterner came in and did well out of the relief spot.
I mean, at some point in time, I'd like to see somebody say something about where Weatherholt's standing on deck. He's about as close as it gets from a left-hander's perspective. We talk about stealing free peaks all the time. I mean, that's essentially a free at bat. And against a guy like Mark Leiter, who is in this ball game because he's going to be seeing a left-hander and a couple left-handers.
1-2 to Scott. Fights that off. Scott homered back in the 5th inning to tie the game at 1. Just his 2nd home run of the year. 2 strikes. The infield can play back the pitch. Is a called strike 3, and Victor immediately challenges the pitch.
The pitch for a strike. The batter is challenging.
Well, remember, Felix Neon has been overturned 6 out of 7, now 7 out of 8 times on challenges.
A couple of very close calls on the ABS challenge system this afternoon. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Scott. He'll take in the dirt.
That's the slider that just stayed close that Scott was able to turn on.
(3-2) and Scott again spoils one from Leiter Jr.
Stephen, from an outsider's perspective, seeing the Cardinals and Victor Scott specifically, everybody talks about the speed, his ability to contact the baseball with the bunt, his defense, but he has some pop in that bat.
He does. There's the 3-2. He's called out on strikes. A great pitch from Leiter Jr. There's the first out of the inning, and the A's will throw it around the horn.
Well, great pitch, great spot from Leiter. Just pain on the corner. Cutter that may have looked off to start with. Comes back, clips the black. And Scott can't pull the trigger.
Now Weatherholtz will take his 2nd at bat against Mark Leiter Jr., as we talked about earlier.
Took the words right out of my mouth, Steph. That's exactly what I was about to say. Every pitch that Victor Scott just saw, Weatherholtz saw the same.
You know, I thought, guys, that the twin telepathy would have been me and him. Instead, it's you guys. Now an ABS challenge from Mike Lears.
Catcher is challenging.
And another good call by Langoliers.
2 challenges.
Tell you, in a ball game like this today, you're appreciative of the ABS system.
1-1 to Weatherholt. He turns on it, but it's just foul. Right size, wrong shape for Weatherholt, and a sigh of relief for the A's as it's now a 1-2 count.
Remember, Weatherholt's on a 5-game hitting streak himself. Has seen the ball well recently. 4 hits against the A's, hitless today, but he always comes knocking.
1-2. Langoliers is going to challenge again, and this crowd's going to go ballistic if he's right again. And he was. You know, Shea Langoliers gets a ton of credit for his offensive presence. Defensively, I've been impressed with what he's done in this series.
I mean, just low paint from Leiter. Langoliers knew right away. Jonah, how you feel about it? That a babe?
Heim deployed a few great challenges in last night's victory for the A's. So both of them doing work on the defensive side, and that's just another way that the most important position on the field can impact the game in a positive or a negative way. This time, it's very positive for the A's.
0-1 breaking ball dropped in for a strike. 0-2 and no traffic for Leiter Jr. He can throw whatever he wants here. The pitch is weakly grounded right side. Kurtz fields. Leiter covers. The feed is perfect, and a 1-2-3 painless inning keeps the score at 3-1 as we head to the stretch. 7th inning. Green and gold faithful having a great time on a beautiful Thursday afternoon. Ryan Stanek checks into the game. A couple of good appearances of late, and he induces a whiff from Henry Bolte for strike number 1. Bolte made his debut last night, 2 for 2 with an RBI. He'd love to get aboard here and feed a bottom part of the A's order, who had a lot of fun last night.
There's the line from McGreevy. 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 run earned, did walk a guy, punched out 3. And aside from the leadoff long ball from Nick Kurtz, not much going against McGreevy.
2 balls and a strike from Stanek. And Bolte will tip that in and out of Herrera's glove. 2-2.
He flied a ball to deep center field in the 2nd inning. Well, Bolte, no shortage of power and some opposite field power at that. We were just seeing him backside balls left and right in AAA Las Vegas. It's a lot like what Geloff had done in the minor leagues, similar to that.
Stanek totally fooled him there. First out of the inning comes by way of the K. There's out number 1.
Well, that power breaker there from Stanek. You can see the first reaction from Bolte there, kind of locked him up a bit. And that'll be something that I think Bolte will get used to seeing. Not only the breaking balls, but I think just the finish on the breaking ball offerings at this level. Just a little bit different than what you're used to in AAA.
Zach Geloff 1 for 2, a single and a fly out to left. He's ahead in the count, 2 balls and no strikes. The signature pitch for Ryan Stanek, the splitter. Dallas, what makes that pitch so difficult for righties to hit?
Well, it's the fact that, number one, you're sitting on a fastball, right? We always talk about guys wanting to stay on the heater, and the fact that it's the same arm speed as the fastball, but then you just watch that thing start to tumble and bottom out at about, say, 50 feet or so. It starts to work its way down and out of the zone. But you see the angle on the fastball there from Stanek. That's something else you have to consider. And if you can control the bottom of the strike zone with the fastball, especially a fastball with angle, think about seeing a splitter coming out of the same spot that eventually gets lower. I mean, you see that just there's angle and there's life on that pitch from Stanek. So you see how this baseball finishes like it's going through the target. Now imagine the split just not quite getting to the target, feeling like it just starts to disappear.
Geloff will whip that back toward us. 3-2. So Stanek battles back, and now Geloff's got to be defensive here, fight off anything close.
He had that great at bat back in the 2nd inning, a 10-pitch at bat where he did fight, ultimately got the single.
3-2, swing and a drive deep to left, charge to the wall, Geloff goner. Zach Geloff is hotter than the Sacramento sun. It's a 1-run game.
Well, Geloff got some good looks at some good fastballs. And at that point, you're just waiting for a mistake.
So this game got a whole lot more interesting, and Stanek misses inside to Jeff McNeil.
And this fastball virtually in the same spot we saw a couple of the others. And Geloff just leans back.
Neal pops this one up. Ball has a tendency of coming back into the field of play, but it'll stay foul.
Fastballs in real estate, Steph. Location, location, location. And that ball is located on the other side of the wall thanks to Zach. Geloff me, ball.
We talked about Jordan Walker and his similarities to Zach Geloff, the slow starts in the big leagues. Both players have homered in this game. It's fun watching the future of these two clubs.
Absolutely is, Dallas. And you see the progression of these two different guys. You know, you can add Kurtz in that mix. Just so much talent taking place in this field today.
Now McNeil's in total control of the count. 3-1. McNeil's 0 for 2, a ground out to second, a fly out to center. (3-1). Not even close. McNeil walks to first. That's the 15th walk issued by Ryan Stanek this season in just over 18 pitches. And Mark Kotsay is going to make his first big offensive decision of the day. Lawrence Butler comes off the bench.
So Butler's going to hit for Darrell Hernandez here. You still have the super utility infielder in Stefanik on the bench, and there's going to be a meeting on the mound, which is brought to you by the injury attorneys of Ashton and Price. But you do have left-handed thumps, some power, but the matchup game might be played by the skipper of the Cardinals, Oliver Marmol, who sees Mark Kotsay lift Darrell Hernandez for the lefty, and now he could go to the bullpen. 3-2, Cardinals lead.
We'll have to turn to JoJo Romero, the lefty. Lawrence Butler was in to pinch hit for Darrell Hernandez. Mark Kotsay has such a deep bench. He's going to go with Colby Thomas and preserve the matchup.
Well, this is chess, not checkers. And I think that's what you're watching these two managers play right now. Obviously, this ball game, I think, means a lot to both clubs. Yeah, I get it. It's just the middle of May, but the idea that you've got the series on the line, and I think momentum as one team heads out of town and the other welcomes another opponent in, you'd like to enter those matchups on a high note. And I think playing a closely contested ball game, the way that these two teams have played over the course of the first two, and being able to walk away winners matters.
1-0 pitch to Thomas is roped into left. So how about that? Mark Kotsay pushing the right buttons in the bottom of the 7th inning. 2 on, 1 out. And guess who? Nick Kurtz coming up.
And Colby Thomas, just a great job of staying on the baseball.
It's been fun to watch Colby Thomas off the bench, just doing everything he can.
Nick Kurtz swinging on the first pitch. Hits it weakly, shallow left field. Church still coming, still coming. It's down for a base hit. Everybody's safe. Nathan Church fooled by the wind, and the A's play this park beautifully.
And I tell you, this is not an easy decision to make as a base runner. And Jeff McNeil, I talk a lot about his baseball IQ and just the heads-up effort you get day in and day out from the veteran second baseman, and it shows up here on the base path. You got to make a decision, you make it quickly, and what makes this an even tougher play is just how short of a hop it was for Church to gather that ball on. McNeil commits, and wisely does.
Shea Langoliers on the first pitch, up the middle of base hit. McNeil scores, rounding third, and scoring is Thomas. The A's have the lead. It's 4-3 in the bottom of the 7th.
Well, things things have changed for JoJo Romero. The A's take the power back and take the lead after a couple of early swings.
We are pressing all the right buttons right now if you're Mark Kotze in the green and gold. Bangaliers back up through the box, and that line keeps moving.
So Romero will go to work against Tyler Soderstrom. Still only 1 out and 2 aboard for the A's.
55 hits for Shea Langeliers, most in the American League. Another multi-hit performance. We touched on that, his 20th of the season. He is fantastic this year. Running out of adjectives. Talk about Langeliers, Dallas.
Well, it's a simple approach for Shea Langeliers in that spot. Right, you know you got a couple guys out there in scoring position. You got to put the ball in play hard with authority somewhere. No better spot than right back up the middle.
2-0 and a big cut by Soderstrom. 2-1. 3 hits already against Romero. Thomas had 1, Kurtz had 1, and Langeliers the big 2 RBI single to give the green and gold the lead. This is bounced to first. 2-E for Mead. The throw to second in time. Nobody's covering first base. So Soderstrom will reach, and Brent Rooker will have a chance with runners on the corners and 2 away.
That looks like Romero just got hung up in space here. Looking to buy a ticket instead of be part of the action. And I'm not sure they would have got a hustling Soderstrom anyway.
Rooker 1 for 3. He's hit the ball hard all day long.
Well, our great David Feldman pulled a great statistic. The A's have never won in a game where JoJo Romero has appeared. That's 7 games. And now they get to him in the 7th inning, come back, take the lead back against a guy who has been very good against the green and gold.
And don't forget that a lot of this should be credited to Zach Geloff, who swung the momentum with a 1-out solo home run to make it a 3-2 game.
You took the words right out of my mouth, Stephen. Dallas and I talk about it all the time. The game of momentum, a lot of momentum to be had or lost in the late leverage parts of the game. And Geloff did, as well as the Colby Thomas single coming off the bench. Go back to that series in Baltimore where he came off the bench and went 2 for 2. He has taken advantage of each opportunity, Dallas, and it's looked really, really good.
That's really all you can hope for, right? Get your number called, you step up, you deliver.
JoJo's 2-1 pitch is going to be challenged.
Pitch was called strike. The batter is challenging.
And Rooker has a good eye.
So from 2-2 it turns to 3-1. Now what does Romero have to do here, Dallas? It's been a lot of traffic and a very unsteady inning for the reliever.
Well, he better hope he just doesn't leave one middle, as it could be checkmate.
JoJo's slider doesn't whip back into the zone. So the bases are loaded. Cortez looks like he's about to be lifted. And the Cardinals have a whole lot to talk about.
You can hear living color, cult of personality. That means Michael Stefanik, who was very good situationally last night, is coming off the bench to pinch hit for Cortez. And Mark Kotze, like you said, playing chess, not checkers here, where there could be a chance for some insurance runs here, DB.
Well, that's exactly what you're after. A guy in Stefanik yesterday who did a great job early with the hit and run, and another good at bat later in the ball game, shooting the ball the other way. And that's exactly why you tab Stefanik right now. You feel like you're going to get a pretty good professional at bat. Not that you wouldn't get one from Cortez, but if you have the chance to match up right on left, and I know Cortez has swung the bat very well, albeit in a small sample size against left-handers.
So Stefanik will be the 9th hitter to come up for the A's this inning, and he'll have nothing to swing at on the first pitch. 1-0. Kurtz on third, Soderstrom on second, and Brent Rooker at first. 1-run lead for the A's. Romero attacks and gets the inside corner. 1-1.
Well, Steph, DB, In each game, the A's have had at least one 3+ run inning against the Cardinals. They have scored in bunches against the Redbirds, and they've been successful in these last 2 games with the results.
Again, Romero goes inside. Quick challenge by Herrera. He's been good at discerning balls and strikes this year. So 1-2 count. Big pitch in the game for the Cardinals. Stefanik has shown his ability to go the other way. A lot of room in that direction. 1-2. On the ground to short. Wynn gloves and fires to first in time. But the A's with a 3-spot take a 4-3 lead. It all started off with Zach Gelof's big fly. Different score than that of the previous inning. A's now leading 4-3. A big 3-run bottom of the 7th. Set up Scott Barlow against the heart of this Cardinal order. First pitch to Walker is hit a mile high in foul ground. That'll get out of play. 0-1.
Well, Scotty Barlow, 20th appearance for the right-hander. Coming in to spin it and win it. Scotty Barlow has done a fantastic job of doing just that. Here's your defensive changes. Thomas over to right, Stefanik at short.
There's that spin, Dallas. Walker couldn't hold up. He didn't like the call from first base umpire Bill Miller.
Well, he may have had an argument, but it doesn't matter. He's arguing with the wrong guy.
LDB, the way that this game has swung back in the A's favor, do you think this was part of Mark Kotze's play? You know, you did see Leiter in the 7th inning down by a few runs, and now you've got basically your 8th inning setup man with Barlow here now with the lead.
0-2 pitch, and it might have gotten the outside corner. We'll see if Langoliers is right again.
Visual score ball. Catcher is challenging.
Well, this is now the 10th challenge, and it's a ball.
Oakland has 1 challenge remaining.
But on the afternoon, Felix Neon has been overturned 9 out of 11 times. Or 9 out of 10, excuse me. 8 out of 10. You get what I'm saying. It's been a lot.
It's still it's 80% and above.
1-2. Caught Walker off stride. In the sunlight, who's it gonna be? It's Stefanik who makes the catch behind the pitcher's mound. There's your first out.
And DB, it looked like Michael Stefanik had a beat on that all the way. McNeil's kind of was fighting the sun with his glove, and the shortstop takes authority in the middle of the infield to make that catch.
Well, it's just a different angle for Stefanik. You can see kind of where he's looking as opposed to the angle of Jeff McNeil, who might be staring a little more directly into the sun. And that's how the ABS challenge has been broken down this afternoon between the two clubs.
1-0, and Wynn will get out of the way of that. 2 balls and no strikes.
But if you're the A's, you want the momentum back. You can't take your foot off the gas pedal, especially in a 1-run game. You worked this hard to score 3 runs in the bottom of the 7th. Now you need a shutdown inning from Barlow.
2-0 pitch. Wynn drives it to deep left. Soderstrom leaps up. It's over his head and off the top of the wall. Strong throw into second. Wynn belly flops into the base. And a 1-out double sets the Cardinals up nicely in the top of the 8th.
I tell you what's impressive is the fact that Tyler Soderstrom, number 1, makes a leaping effort after this baseball. Watch how quickly and cleanly he comes up with the carom. I mean, that is instantaneous. And to have even a hair of a play at second base on a speedster like Wynn, that is just a great reaction from Sodi out there in left. So
now it's Gorman, who's reached base twice. We know the plan of attack for this guy, and he rips one down the line, but just foul.
You know, Dallas, looking at that replay of Tyler Soderstrom, the one thing that stuck out to me, just not having any time to even observe where second base is. He gathers, doesn't even really turn, fires it in, and it's a very accurate strike.
Well, this whole outfield crew does a fantastic job of getting to baseballs and cutting them off and getting them back in quickly.
0-1.
I mean, we saw it with Denzel when he was healthy. You see it with Law Dog all the time. Balls down in the right field corner. I mean, not only does he get to him quickly, but he gets them back in strongly. And I think once you plant that seed with your ability to not only get to baseballs but get them in quickly, third base coach has no choice but to be aware of that, and that can affect the running game.
0-2 pitch. Gorman will take low. Gorman had an RBI single in the 6th. A's trying to avoid that again. He'll hit this one a mile high to center. Bolte in the sunlight, and colliding is Soderstrom with Bolte. It's Bolte who hangs on. New kid on the block. Probably some new communication styles that he's working through.
Well, that's it. And one thing to remember, center fielder's the quarterback out there. And that's something that's going to have to be worked out and discussed. I'm not sure that you see much there from Bolte in terms of communication.
Luckily, he didn't catch that elbow either. But I can understand with Soderstrom, Dallas, you know, the amount of confidence it's building with him in left field. 2 incredible throws into second base, a leaping catch a few innings ago. He wants to take authority out there in left field and show his athleticism. And with a young guy there, I would believe he's trying to help him out, especially with learning this ballpark, especially in the sunlight for the first time at the big league level.
Well, that's why we have an understanding of responsibilities out there and who is, quote unquote, calling the shot. Because I think if we understand that it's the center fielder who is going to have priority, the first step is to make sure that that center fielder is vocal enough and is comfortable enough to take charge, albeit here in the big leagues for 10 minutes or 10 years. From there, it's the responsibility of the corner outfielders to adjust accordingly.
Alec Burleson spins one to left. This should do it. Soderstrom's there. He'll make the catch. And the Cardinals are blanked in the 8th. Home runs by Kurtz and Geloff have led the charge for the A's. A great pitching performance by Michael McGreevy. But Dallas, we were talking about this off air. 74 pitches, retiring 12 of the last 13 he faced. Feels like a big decision to go to your bullpen there in the 7th.
Yeah, and I think, you know, with the value of hindsight, you can look back and say, wow, McGreevy was doing a good job of navigating this lineup. You wonder what would have happened if he would have stayed in the ball game, because we know what happened when he left the ball game. And I think that's always something that a manager kind of tussles with. You try to play the matchup game as you get later into the game. You feel good about maybe turning it over to fresh arms.
Bolte serves one the other way. This guy is so impressive in his first 2 big league games.
Well, he's got at least 1 hit in every single big league game he's played, boys.
Yep.
But again, just a nice job of letting the ball travel here for Bolte. And instead of trying to get big and absolutely crush the ball in the air somewhere, he just a nice, easy stroke the other way.
Man that started the rally for the A's last inning, Zach Geloff.
You want to talk about big swings. I mean, you were right, Steph. That might have been the catalyst for the offense to come back and for Zach Geloff to be the energizer of this offense. Again, the bottom feeds the top finishes off. It has been complete team performance after complete team performance over the last week or 2 for the A's, whether on the road, the East Coast, or now here against the Cardinals.
Another thing to pay attention to, Herrera has struggled to control the run game in his career. Bolte's most talked about tool is his speed. We'll see if they put him in motion here, trying to get an insurance run. Stays put. It's now 1-1.
What are you noticing of Bolte on the base paths, Dallas?
Well, I think really what you're just trying to make sure, and we talked about it last night, is that he's comfortable being the athlete that he is, and you're starting to see him creep. I mean, he's a good portion off. He's probably 12 feet off.
1-1. Sawed off Geloff. Weatherholt surveying, and he'll make the catch in shallow right field for out number 1.
And Ivan Herrera has not caught a runner stealing this year. He's 0 for 8. And Bolte, with his speed, might have knowledge of that, especially considering what Dallas said. Good 10 to 12 foot lead off of first base.
And the first pitch to McNeil is hit back into the netting, 0-1.
Well, and now what you have a chance here is you've got a guy who can put the ball in play. Good contact guy in Jeff McNeil, for starters. Secondly, Jeff McNeil hitting from the left side, so you've got a cover up there with Herrera behind the plate. Tough lane for him to create. And the fact that Bolte is well aware of what Herrera has not done could be a great time.
Well, if you put Bolte in motion, a high contact rate of Jeff McNeil, that's a pretty good combo for the A's.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of hit and runs from both teams. It's almost like a relic from the past, but it's been a breath of fresh air to see that being used in this game.
Neal's going to challenge.
Well, and an emphatic challenge.
Batter's challenging.
That's a big challenge for McNeil. The A's now out of challenges. A one-run game, that's certainly a commodity you'd like to have. Swanson picks over to first. Bolte just gets back in. Burleson over at first after pinch hitting for Fermin.
Quick feet there from Swanson. Elevated throw, and I think that might be the difference.
1-2, there he goes. Swing and a miss. Throw down to second is going to roll into center. So Bolte has his first major league stolen base. He's in scoring position. And even though McNeil strikes out, still something to celebrate in what has been a great series for number 33.
Well, in Bolte, and this is the great thing about being as close to the action as I am, and this angle specifically, where Bolte was lined up with his lead, his entire body was directly behind Swanson, where every pitch prior to that it had not been.
And with Colby Thomas, let's look at this lead first.
Well, that right there, just that little step.
No slide or anything. He trusts his speed. 0-1 to Colby Thomas. He singled through the hole at short. It's part of that big rally, bottom of the 7th inning for the A's.
Thomas starting to heat up. 5 for his last 7. Came in on May the 9th in Baltimore in a pinch hit situation. Went 2 for 2. Yesterday 2 for 4 with a double. And then today off the bench again. Another hit, another run scored.
0-2. And Swanson allows no more damage. 1-run game, top 9. A lot of fun in West Sacramento coming your way up next.
Cross body bag giveaway, kids socks, and more. Get tickets right now at athletics.com/tickets.
Well, gentlemen, we find ourselves in another tight one, a fun one. 4-3, the Athletics lead, top of the 9th inning. Jack Perkins comes into the game in what is his 5th save opportunity, as 3 saves on the year, 2-1, 3.86 ERA. 7, 8, and 9 coming up, starting with Joel Pozo. First pitch he will take for strike number 1. Perkins did finish off the game last night. It was not a save situation, as the Athletics won 6-2. Did allow a hit in the 9th, but no further damage against him. 1 pitch outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. So Perkins seeking his 4th save of the year. It is a 1-run game in a tightly contested contest. 3 outs away from claiming the series victory. 1-1 pitch off the plate. Reminder, the A's have no challenges remaining in regulation play. Cardinals do have 1. Just keep an eye out on that. 2-1 windup and pitch. Pozo spins it back foul, 2-2.
Pozo is one of these guys for the Cardinals that really likes to swing the bat. Doesn't draw a ton of walks. He wants to hit.
Hit he has. 2 hits today and a hard line out off of a nice play by Carlos Cortez to end the threat in the top of the 4th inning. Could be a completely different looking game without that play by Cortez. Now pokes the bat head out and serves it into left. It's a 3-hit day for Joel Pozo, and he is the tying run for the Cardinals as Nathan Church comes up.
We talk a lot about being off balance at times, and that's exactly where Pozo found himself, but he also kept the hands back, and that can usually be the equalizer for a hitter. Find yourself out front on that front foot, maybe off balance, backside starts to bail. If the hands are still in a decent enough position to get to the baseball, you can throw the barrel at it, and that's exactly what Pozo did.
Thomas Sajasi will pinch run for Pozo. Geloff playing in against Church, who's 0 for 3 with a pop out and a pair of ground outs, including a double play ball back in the 6th. First pitch is high, 1 ball and no strikes. We saw this a little bit last year in the early part of the season with Mason Miller. When a base runner got aboard, sometimes it can be a little nerve-wracking for Jack Perkins. Is there any reset that he goes to once a base runner gets aboard?
Well, it's the same mindset, really, which is I need to take care of business with the guy at home plate.
Flied into foul ground on the move Soderstrom, and it is out of play.
You know, that's where you prioritize your attention. There's not much in terms of what Perkins can do with the runner over there at first base. You focus your attention at home plate. That's the man with the bat in his hand. You take care of business there. That could very well be 2 outs.
Kurtz holds on the runner. 1-1 pitch. Church fouls it away. 1-2.
Church grounded into a double play his last time up. Tried to stay through the middle of the field. This A's defense so good, you don't want to hit it right at him, especially the guys in the green and gold.
1-2. Fly ball to center. Bolte breaks back. Good read on the baseball and makes the catch for the first out of the top of the 9th. And here comes Victor Scott. This will be interesting, gentlemen, to see what Scott decides to do. He does have a homer in this game. He also has a sac bunt, but there is 1 out here. Is it more important for Oliver Marmol to get the base runner into scoring position with Weatherholt coming up and give up the out, or let Scott swing away?
I think you take your chances with the guy at home plate. There's one thing you got to consider is, you know, probably a tough guy to double up.
Geloff in. Scott swinging for the moment. He takes high. 1 ball and no strikes.
And Geloff right now in his face, just kind of eliminating any thought that Victor Scott might have, pushing the ball down the 3rd baseline.
Infield swung over to the right. 1-0.
Yeah, he did.
Yep. And you talked about this in San Diego, how far in Manny Machado was playing Scott, but he's going to swing here.
Well, I also think that his sacrifice in the 3rd is factoring into the mindset here. Bunted right back to the pitcher. Not sure how high the confidence is in being able to bunt for a hit, because yeah, you want to move the runner over, but you also want to try to bunt for a hit and let J.J. Weatherholt hit with a runner in scoring position and 1 out.
But it is a reminder, J.J. Weatherholt again taking free peeks. 3-10 with runners in scoring position entering play.
Yep.
Another check swing on a back foot sweeper. 1-2.
Just such a difficult pitch. I mean, I think I see this slider from Perkins. I think about that wipeout slider from Mason Miller. Similar profiles. I mean, at this point, Weatherholt is in the batter's box. My goodness.
One-two pitch is low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And I'll be honest, frankly, I'm surprised that nobody has said anything, because that's egregious.
You think he can hear you from there, buddy?
You can probably smell my breath.
Check swing, another back foot sweeper. This time did not go around. You gonna yell at him?
I mean, I'm just a washed up announcer. There's nothing much I got to say.
No invite to the podcast?
Yeah, we can talk about it.
And now he tells him, JJ, back up. Finally.
It's about time. It's about time. My goodness. I mean, technically, he's got about 8 at-bats today.
Well, it's 3-2 for Victor Scott II. And he serves it into left. Soderstrom drifts back, makes the catch, backpedaling for the second out. And it is up to Weatherholt, representing the lifeline for St. Louis. The tying run is at first, the leading run at the plate in a 4-3 game. Weatherholt's 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts. Perkins 1 out away from his 4th save of the season and an A's series victory. Perkins, third base side of the rubber. First pitch does not go. 1 ball and no strikes. Now he turns on it foul, 1-1. If the A's are able to hang on, Dallas, it would be the first series win against St. Louis since 2019. One pitch. Trying to lock him up with a sweeper. Did he go? No, he did not.
Let's take a peek from the side here. Pretty close, but I think it's fair to say that Weatherholt was able to hit the brakes just in time.
Pickoff attempt. Sajasi back in safely. Weatherholt's already had some signature moments for St. Louis.
Yeah, solo home run in Pittsburgh to tie the game in the 9th in front of his friends and family. Walk off in game 2 of the season.
Swing and a miss. 2-2.
Just a nasty changeup. Here's that kick change.
Everyone on their feet. 1 strike away. 2-2 pitch. Fouled off. Weatherholt's going to give you a fight. Well, to add to that, Weatherholt in go-ahead runs batted in. 9, tied for second in baseball. Game-winning RBIs, 6, tied for second in all of baseball. This is a tough out for Perkins. 2-2, and he lost him. He hit him. And now the Cardinals have the tying run in scoring position for Ivan Herrera. Will this bring out Scott Emerson? You sure bet it will.
They opt for the sweeper, and it ends up clipping Weatherholt in the back of the front leg, believe it or not. That's the 10th time that Weatherholt's been drilled.
Most in the majors. He and Herrera have been guys that have led the league in that category this season. Stand on top of home plate, and Herrera's a tough out. Just like Weatherholt, this top of the order so patient at the plate. That strike zone even smaller without an ABS challenge available to the A's.
Herrera is 0 for 4 today.
Got to watch out for that first pitch, though. Herrera likes to ambush.
Big open stance in the right side batter's box. Perkins to the plate. Breaking ball does swing on the first pitch. It's grounded through for a hit. This is going to tie it. Sajacy comes home and scores. And the Cardinals on their last breath tie the game at 4-4. You called it, Stefan. A first pitch ambush for Herrera. And it's 4-4 in the ninth.
Well, and I think Herrera, just the swing you see him take, very well may have been up there looking for a first pitch breaking ball. And he got one. Cardinals able to capitalize.
And now they have to contend with one of the most fearsome hitters in the National League, Jordan Walker, who swings on the first pitch. It is dropping fast, and it gets down. Colby Thomas moves over, and the Cardinals take the lead 5-4. Jordan Walker takes second base, and things have changed very quickly.
Well, and this is how important being able to finish an inning becomes. 2-out free pass. You move a base runner up into scoring position. The next guy comes up and pulls one through the hole. And then you have back-to-back knocks with Walker here, able to dump one into right field. That pushes 2 across, and the Cardinals very quickly have found themselves in the lead.
Out comes Marcotte. He's going to go to the bullpen. The Cardinals are ahead 5-4.
Athletics and Marcotte are going to turn to big Joel Kuhnel. 16th appearance for the right-hander, just trying to put this 9th inning to bed. Keep the score where it's at. Give the boys a chance to get in the dugout and win a ball game.
Well, there is something to note here. David Feldman again is able to tell me first back-to-back performance for Jack Perkins of the year. Pitched last night, pitches today. Wonder if that factored into the performance today. Had not done that before in 2026. And now it's Kuhnel, 1 ball and no strikes against Mason Wynn, who is 1 for 3 with a double. Popped up. This could be playable for Kurtz. No, it goes into the dugout for the Cardinals. 1-1.
Got to get a little shot of Danny Wexelman there.
Yep.
Trying to avoid the baseball.
Speaking of Kurtz, he's leading off the bottom of the ninth. 1, 2, and 3, just the part of the order that you need in this spot. Likely against Riley O'Brien, if I were to expect, who does have a save on this series, which was his 12th of the year. 1-1. Wynn got hit. Up and in. Now the bases are loaded for the lefty Nolan Gorman. Up by his back left scapula.
That's the second time this has happened in the inning for St. Louis. They've been hit as much, if not more, than every other team in baseball, and you know, there have to be some frustrations.
Well, and with 2 outs, close to finishing off the inning, you get Weatherholt to 2 strikes down to his final strike, and you hit him. And then Wynn gets plunked for Gorman, who takes outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Now command is of paramount importance, DB.
Nowhere to put him.
Gorman 1 for 3 with an RBI single. Herrera at third, Walker at second, Wynn at first in a 5-4 game. And that'll do for strike number 1. St. Louis holds on. They will improve to 25-18. Pitch away on the sinker, 2 balls and a strike.
Gorman will expand his zone. The dangerous part here for Kunal is you don't really have the option of the inner third of the plate. Gorman's hands are so fast, you have to beat him away.
2-1. And he did go away with a changeup. Induced. There's an award named after one of them.
What are you talking about? The Great Cy?
Yep.
And then you said 81.
You love dogs, right? What do dogs do?
Dogs bark.
Yep.
Lynn Barker.
Yep. There you go. Riley O'Brien in the game now. 12 saves, tied for 3rd in Major League Baseball. 13th save situation. 5-4 the score with Kurtz coming up. He'll foul it away.
Dallas, I mean, you're an elite club throwing a perfect game, but you're in an even smaller club with Cy Young and Len Barker. I mean, it's incredible.
Humbled company, my friend. Humbled company.
I'm not sure there are too many meetings, but
Well, they don't answer when I call.
0-2, trying to lock him up on the sweeper in. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 7 saves of O'Brien's 12 have come on the road. He has been great locking things down for St. Louis. One-two pitch. Kurtz takes. It is high. No challenge, despite 1 remaining for Ivan Herrera.
You see just what kind of a weapon O'Brien's working with out there. That ball has got a ton of movement. It's a 100-mile-an-hour sinker.
Flags blowing out. 2-2. Fouled away.
Take you back to the first inning, how scoring for the A's opened up. Shot out up on top of the shed out there. I think Kurt's going to grab one off the back leg. A's have action here. Leadoff runner on.
3rd hit by pitch of the night, 2 to the Cardinals. Now Kurtz, leadoff base runner, and Langeliers is coming up. He already has 3 hits. He had the go-ahead 2 RBI single in the 7th inning. Of course, the Cardinals came back with 2 of their own in the top of the 9th, but some signature moments already for Shea.
Let's see if O'Brien tries to crowd Shea here first pitch with one of those sinkers, and if so, I think old Langeliers might be ready to fire.
First pitch, it is a breaking ball, a called strike, 0-1.
This is a big moment for Riley O'Brien. He blew a save in the finale against the Padres, a 2-run home run to Nick Castellanos. Certainly that's at the front of his mind.
But Shea expands and swings and misses on a wicked sweeper away. 0-2.
When you're down early, and I think Langeliers trying not to get beat on that fastball. Ready to go, and that's just a good pitch from O'Brien.
Right side open for Langeliers. You have the leadoff runner aboard the winning run at the plate. Oh, 0-2. Thought about pulling the trigger, able to hold up.
Just not an easy guy to hit the brakes on here. 2 pitches heading in completely opposite directions.
1-2 pitch. Herrera brought it back into the strike zone. He's going to deploy the final ABS challenge. 50-50 here. See who it goes to. It is a strike. There's out number 1.
Back to that movement. I mean, a rare combination of that kind of velocity and that kind of life. So
it's Tyler now, low and in, 1-0. Remember, Stefan, in the third and the sixth innings for Soderstrom, 2 deep flyouts, almost had a home run in the third if it wasn't for Jordan Walker's height in right field.
He's put a couple of good swings on. He's been seeing it well, just nothing to show for it.
He has a 2-0 count now, DB. What is he looking for here?
Well, you're looking for one pitch in one spot, and if you don't get it, you move on. But I'd be curious to see if O'Brien wants to stay away from throwing a sinker onto the barrel as Soderstrom tries to spin one. It'd be a big pitch if he could land it.
2-0 pitch, swing and a fly ball to center. Just missed it. Scott is there, 2 away, and it's up to Rooker.
Well, Brent Rooker, no stranger to moments like this, and he's come through multiple times. A few years ago, back at the Coliseum, he did it twice. And then this year, early in the season against the Astros,
first pitch, strike 1. On top of the line is Gorman. And another check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. Bill Miller raises the fist, and the A's are down to their final strike. Now the Cardinals fans are on their feet. Kurtz at first, a 1-run game. Herrera lined up outside, the 0-2 pitch. Rooker chases, a swing and a miss, and the Cardinals come back to win 5-4 over the A's and claim the series. A's fall to 22-21. The Cardinals 25-18. What a performance by St. Louis, DB. They came from behind to take the win and steal it from the A's.
well, McGreevy threw the ball very well for the Cardinals, and we were talking about whether or not the early move, or what we could think of as an early move to the bullpen, was going to cost the Cardinals